This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. Good morning. How is everyone?
What up?
Good morning.
Yeah. I'm in Jasmine's favorite city, Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah. How was everyone's week?
Man, it was good. We're getting such a break on the weather. I'm scared to see what next month looks like.
Yeah, you know what?
It's nothing like Vegas.
No, I got off the plane yesterday, walked outside. I'm like, oh, yes, it's very cold. It was about 38 degrees last night in Vegas, believe it or not.
Silly.
We had a couple flurries on the way in, but I don't think it's going to stick much.
Oh, nice. Well, the sun is shining here, so hopefully it gets up to about 54 today, and I'll be right there.
I hope the wind blows too hard and knocks your lace front off.
I tried to put the Coach K comb over, but y'all can't see it. We got a lot to talk about on today's show. Coming up, we'll talk Bills, Damar Hamlin. He suffered cardiac arrest on the field on Monday night during the Monday Night Football game. And the team gave a positive update. They said Damar spoke to the team yesterday. We'll hear from the team and also the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. The NFL also approved a plan. I know Q is excited about this one. They approved a plan for a possible neutral site for the AFC title game.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. No.
And the soccer star, Cristiano Ronaldo, was very close to moving to Sporting Kansas City. A lot of people were excited about that. However, he took the $75 million per year bag, and we'll dive into that coming up in a little bit later. And Georgia TCU, Broderick's favorite team, they advanced to the 2023 College Football Playoff National Championship game. We'll pick our winners coming up a little later. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have our Sneakers of the Week during our Hater 11 segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Bills Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest on the field. And it was announced that he has had the breathing tube removed and FaceTimed with the Bills team yesterday. Hamlin, 24, suffered the cardiac arrest following the hit with his heartbeat restored on the field, Bills announced in a statement early Tuesday morning. Let's hear from Bills head coach Sean McDermott first.
And I can't remember the order of things, and it was not a long interaction, as you'd imagine, with his situation. But he made hand signals, hand gestures, right? The thing that makes me laugh is he did this to the guys, right away. He flexed on them, I guess, and he's just got some staple things that they know him for and that he does. I mean, he made the heart symbol probably more than anything. And then he gave him a thumbs up. So, and then somewhere in the midst of that, and it was a little bit hard to hear, but he, as you'd imagine, he said, I love you boys. And of course, I think I got the guys. So.
Your thoughts?
Man, it was really tough watching it live. I had went through a similar experience in high school. And rest in peace to Charles Satterwhite. But it was a kid that he had actually died on the field at center. So when I saw it, that's where my mind initially jumped to. So I was already thinking the worst, but it's great, one, that he recovered, but two, just to see the love that was around him, not only throughout the league, but I mean, it seemed like every team, there were a lot of different celebrities that chipped in. So it was good to see the camaraderie behind him. I hope the league makes a few changes this offseason that can help some players.
Definitely. And I think like most other people, I mean, especially in the NFL, we hadn't seen it before. And I was at Topgolf in Overland Park when it happened, and you could hear a pin drop in that place.
Mhm.
And it was absolutely silent. And it was, like you said, definitely scary. It's amazing to see how everybody's came together, especially for the foundation, and seeing everybody start to donate to things that he's passionate about too. And I think that really kind of spoke to his recovery and the power of prayer and the power of people coming together. And so I hate that it took something like this, but I love to see that for him and for his family.
Definitely.
And I agree. I think, it was something that was a first, right? Like, we've never seen something like that happen. I know Q mentioned high school, but as far as like the NFL and professional on national television, everyone was watching them, and it was a Monday night game. And I was speaking to someone about, had that been a just a regular Sunday, where a lot of teams are playing, would it have been as significant? And I don't think that it would have been, as far as just how the NFL works and the breakdown of the league. Not a lot of people would have seen it. Of course, they would have seen it in real time. Not a lot of people would have seen it in real time. However, they were able to do that because of the Monday night. It was the only game on, other than some NBA basketball games. So I think that's where it was kind of unprecedented, for the league, and something that they had not seen before. But it's good that he's back to almost normal. And I think the timeline of, and I saw a couple of reports that the timeline is, once, a breathing tube is pulled out of a patient, then as long as he's able to start breathing on his own, and they're going to give him like a 24 to 48 hour timeline where they're going to like test his heart. They weren't able to do some of the heart tests, and then from there he's able to move out of the intensive care ICU, and then move into general, have a general room in the hospital, and from there he'd be able to go home. So it's good that he's moving in the right direction, because it's wonderful what 5 days will do. Because I mean, this just happened on Monday.
Definitely. Yeah.
So it's good, and definitely he was a part of God's plan. So
Definitely. In 5 days, and being just a young cat in the start of his career too. I mean, 24 years old, like, it was spooky in itself for me, and I'm sure with our producer Project, him being the same age as us. I couldn't even imagine. And so I think that's what really makes it hit home, about thinking at this age, fighting for your life like that, or having to face that type of recovery is insane. And so I love to see it. I love to hear the good news. And I couldn't even imagine.
and speaking of that, it was said that his mom was there, and dad, and a lot of his family. And I look at it a little bit different, because just from a parent standpoint, having a son that plays competitive sports,
Yeah.
physical sports, right? Like, I know anything can happen at any time, but it just makes you kind of look at things a little differently, you know.
Mhm.
Um, just looking at yourself in that situation as a parent, and seeing, I remember my son back in the summer got hit in the face with a baseball during the game, and it
Mm.
was like, man, I'd love to just trade positions with my son, so that way he doesn't have to go through that, right? So it just puts you in that eerie feeling, in that position, and I just think, that's something that parents, when a lot of parents have already had kind of issues over the past few years of kids playing those contact sports, especially football. So when you look at it now, and this comes out, I think it's going to make parents second guess of putting
Yeah.
their kids in football.
No, definitely. it's one of those things that's going to contribute to the sport of football, like losing its popularity. Um, and especially as the generations move, because I mean, I don't, I won't say I don't know if it's a sport that's big for people in their 20s, but again, I mean, like even Jazz, like her, her sport is soccer, and I
Hmm.
feel like soccer is really going to take over, and this is a part of why, like just being that close to death, that
Yeah.
close to being mutilated for life. Like it's a lot of different things that go into the reason that the NFL is, I mean, it's going to decline in membership, I think.
Definitely. And the NFL is definitely going to have to reevaluate things, but they're starting with approving a plan for possible neutral site AFC title game. Steve had thrown some shade at you in the beginning. Q, what are your thoughts?
Oh no, he definitely did, but that's one. Chiefs fans now look at how detrimental that loss to Matt Ryan and the Colts is. Like, I know it feels terrible to like have to be in this position. Um, but I believe I said it on the Red Hour earlier in the season. I think the Chiefs benefit from playing on the road. I definitely think Patrick does a lot for the team, and I think it kicks it into extra gear again for the playoffs and on the road. So if they, I mean, if they play in a dome, which I think I saw that Indianapolis wasn't available, but I mean, I would like to see them play in Tennessee, uh, on natural grass, in a vicious cockfight. So I mean, it could happen. So. You know.
No, you know what? A lot of people were upset about this. I know they had to get votes from from NFL ownership.
Mhm,
The Kansas City Chiefs abstained. Clark Hunt abstained from voting. The Cincinnati Bengals they voted no for the change, and rightfully so. I mean, you know, it kind of was a terrible situation, you know, that happened and forced this change. However, most of the or a lot of the for it to happen, you know, most of the NFL owners had to agree to it,
mhm,
and so it just kind of throws a wrench in things. But I don't think a neutral site is bad. Of course, my initial thought was that you know it'd be a space in a dome somewhere in between Buffalo. If it came to that, it'd be somewhere in between Buffalo and Kansas City. Um, and the only place that I could think of was Indianapolis. However, Indianapolis said that they're already booked,
mhm.
conveniently so. So I think now they're gonna have to look elsewhere. I know I talked to a friend of the show, Darren Smith, on our way into Vegas yesterday, and you know asked him what he thought, and he said you know possibly, or I threw up some different scenarios of cities, and I thought maybe an NFC team. You know, maybe they go to Minnesota or in Atlanta, somewhere like that. But Minnesota, of course, you think about them, they can't come out and say Minnesota because they're in a playoff hunt right now. So they could
Exactly.
be in the NFC championship game. And I'm not sure how that would look with them playing, you know, the NFC game there and the AFC game in Minnesota because they have a dome, fairly new stadium. And I thought Atlanta. But then you look at that trip from Kansas City to Atlanta, and then from Buffalo
Mhm.
to Atlanta. It's kind of the same. Um, I thought possibly back here in Vegas. You know,
No,
it could. You don't think so? I mean,
no,
I could see a scenario where that happens
because
if it came to that.
well, I mean, even if you look at that, that's a disadvantage on the Bills because they have to skip 2 time zones. And for
True.
them to be uh, for them potentially to be the number 1 seed, like, no. But the Bills are the ultimate losers in this altogether. I mean, 1, for it being one of their players, but for 2, they lose the possibility of like home field advantage. And I
Mhm.
hate that for the Bills because I don't know if this depletes the team. Um, but it definitely doesn't make them any stronger, especially after losing Von Miller to injury. I forget who they lost on offense to injury, but
They
they
lost
I mean,
they lost a safety too. another safety.
It was a safety. Okay. Yeah. I'm like,
yeah.
they lost 2 starters. And so that already is a dagger to them really trying to get over that hump, because they haven't been able to get over the hump of getting to the Super Bowl in a very long time. And with this unit, you would like to see them have some sort of like fair playing field, and that's what the NFL is attempting to do. But I mean, you really can't, because they put themselves in a very strange predicament.
And I feel
And
like
what were some? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, Steve.
No, I was going to ask, what were some of the scenarios that I think was something if the Chiefs lose today?
If Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Baltimore wins or ties, Bills Chiefs championship game obviously would be at the neutral site. If Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Cincinnati wins, a Bills or Bengals versus Chiefs championship game would be at a neutral site.
So I mean, that just makes it makes this game even that much more important, right? Like
Mhm.
you want to come in here, like if you knew last week that Buffalo was going to lose during the game, if they would have continued the game, or if that incident would have happened, and Buffalo lost, I mean, you still had to come into Las Vegas and win.
Exactly.
But it wasn't the end of the world though, right? Because they would have still had to play this week as well and play a tough Patriots team who is trying to get into the playoffs. So now it's like you gotta win. And that's the end all be all. But Cincinnati, I think you talked about Buffalo being the biggest loser. I think it's Cincinnati, honestly. And a lot of their players had talked about it on Twitter earlier this week and just said, "Hey, now we want to change the rules, things like that." So I think Cincinnati becomes the loser, because if both Chiefs and Bills were to lose out, Cincinnati, or if the Bills would have lost both times, Cincinnati could have jumped up to the number 2 spot.
Mhm.
And then, if Chiefs lost, they would have had the AFC Championship game go through Cincinnati. So I think the Cincinnati Bengals are the biggest losers in this.
Definitely super sticky, and it's hard because regardless, some location, some team is bound to be the bad guy, or bound to get some type of backlash. So it's a tough situation to be in for sure.
Yep.
Now, Donovan Mitchell was kind of put in a tough one. He was hit with the random PED test. Leak said 71-point performance shouldn't have happened. Donovan Mitchell tweeted about it as well afterwards. How ironic. Cue your thoughts.
Yeah, because I don't even think this is the first time he's been tested after a big performance in a game like this. So I know for him, it's frustrating, because it's like you do all this hard work to try to get to where you are, and then when you express your dominance in scoring, I have to take a drug test the next day, and it's terrible to even look at it like that. But it was like him and a teammate got tested, so it's wild. But I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, one of those good old-fashioned testing your gangster real quick
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, and it's interesting though, because the drug tests are random, right? Like it's
Quotation.
it's you get you get the test beginning of the season, then you get a random during the season, and then one in off season. So I just, it's interesting, because basketball is a little different. Whereas when you think about PEDs and you think about the players that take them, basketball just isn't one that jumps off the page at me, for someone
Mhm.
who would, because I mean, you want to be strong. I mean, when I look at PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, I look at lifting weights. I look at want to be stronger, being able to hit a baseball far, being able to be strong on a football field, tackle someone, take a hit, those sort of things. But when I think about PEDs, I don't think basketball. Like, why would you want? I know sometimes people take them. When you look at what was the bicyclist Lance Armstrong, when he
Mhm.
took PEDs, he was wanting to get the being able to ride a bike a long way, not
Yeah.
get tired, that sort of thing. But I just don't see a guy like Donovan Mitchell wanting to take performance enhancement drugs. I get it. Some guys take them, to speed up their recovery when
That's
they get
exactly what
injured.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, when speed up their injury recovery. So I just don't see him, being able to go out there and score 71 points on performance enhancement drugs. Like, to score 71 points, you got to put the basketball in the basket.
Mhm.
It just that just doesn't say he was on performance enhancement drugs to me.
Yeah, and especially out of 82 games to pick this one. All right.
Yeah.
Now, Pele was welcomed home by 230,000 people in a 24-hour funeral. He's arguably one of the greatest of all time and made his name with the Santos FC, winning 3 FIFA World Cups for his country also.
Hmm.
Cue your thoughts.
Look, is this the GOAT? I mean,
Definitely a
is
goat.
okay. This is definitely the GOAT. Okay, but no, for someone that wasn't heavy on soccer growing up, Pele was the consistent name.
Mhm.
And especially as a kid, moving out the suburbs and seeing kids play soccer, and instead of it being Jordan, it was Pele.
Yeah.
And so it was, it was funny to see that. But like Pele is uh I want to say more than a staple in soccer. I mean, I think he really carried the coolness of what soccer was for a very long time. And it's great to see him, be able to leave in a fashion that he left in. Being able to have a 24-hour celebration of his life. That's ridiculous, but it also shows how much he means to not only soccer but to where he lives. Like, it's that's a big deal. 24 hours. I don't even think they did that for the Queen.
Yeah.
I
Definitely
agree.
a goat.
I agree.
Definitely a go. I mean, I know, especially playing soccer, of course, we had the Cristiano Ronaldos that we'll get to, Messi's, those, but Pele was always the GOAT. Like you said, you're screaming
Mhm.
it out when you score, whatever it is. And so to hear this, it was just like, whoa. I mean,
Yeah.
I not obviously knew it would had to come in sometime in my lifetime, but you just never would have thought. Like, it was
Yeah,
always
definitely.
Pele. You always made those comments. So definitely a go for both sides too. I think for men and women, I think that's really important too. Like, seeing his impact for the soccer community as a whole.
I agree. And Q and you both couldn't have said it better. It shows what he meant to the game. Um, I mean, we look at the superstars of today, right? I mean, you have LeBron, you have the Tom Brady's, you have Q don't want me to mention it, but Patrick Mahomes.
Oh no,
The,
I'm for Patrick.
those superstars. I mean, Pele, supersedes all those folks. To see that many people show up for his funeral, and also not only one thing we didn't mention, he's a person of color too. Like,
Mhm.
it just we don't typically see that type of recognition that he gets for black and brown people all the time. So
Mhm.
it's good to see that he can be recognized, and especially as one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Facts. Now, Patrick Mahomes and Cristiano Ronaldo could have been quite the duo.
Mhm.
Cristiano Ronaldo was very close to move to Sporting Kansas City. The breaking news came out, and he was on the verge to sign with Sporting KC. According to different reporters, Sporting were the MLS team that came closest to signing Ronaldo. Talks ongoing for weeks. It was a real possibility, and the package was very good, but plans were being made to make it happen. Steve, could you only imagine? What are your thoughts?
I mean, like, we know how big Sporting is. We know how big soccer is to Kansas City.
Mhm.
But Cristiano Ronaldo is a world. We talk about Pele, worldwide figure. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of those cool soccer players, right? Like that is known worldwide, for things on the soccer field and off the soccer field, right? Like, he's a person that not only the older soccer fan can relate to, but also the younger soccer fan. I mean, because he just looks cool, and he's good too. So I think for him, if he was able to come to Kansas City and they were able to make that happen, man, I think everyone around the world would have been talking Sporting Kansas City, and would have had to mention, when you mention soccer, you have to mention Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, you look at the World Cup. There was Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, Mbappe, all those guys were mentioned. And so it just being able to be put on the world stage, and especially with the World Cup coming to KC in 2026, it would have just been something that I would have never believed would have happened in my lifetime, getting a guy like that to come. But it just goes to show you, we talk about Patrick Mahomes and his superstardom, right? Like, that doesn't happen if Patrick isn't, playing for this team. It kind of just shows the being able to be a superstar in a small town and a worldwide star, and what it can do, for a city. We talk about that all the time. Like, Patrick does a lot for Kansas City, being a small town and being a superstar. And I mentioned to someone the other day that Patrick is one person away from anybody that you would want to meet, as far as, superstars go. One person away from LeBron, one person away from just anyone. So, I think it would have been a huge thing for them to be able to secure Cristiano Ronaldo. And you got to remember too, Patrick is on the ownership group of Sporting Kansas City. So, that being said, I think, it shows that Sporting is, even though they had a losing season, they're still trying to make things right and push forward to be great in the soccer MLS.
Definitely. And I think, especially for my age group and younger, we always talk about with the MLB, like bringing the swag and making it cool again. And I think that was the biggest thing for Ronaldo, was just having swag, bringing the coolness to the game. And so I think that would have spoken a lot and did a lot for Kansas City too, like with everything that we have coming up. Like you said, mentioned the World Cup games and the new KC current women's facility. I think it just would have brought a lot like a new wave of energy and a lot of swag and a different twist to Kansas City.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't say count it out. I think they might also be in the running for someone else. I don't know who that someone else would be, but it seems like the Sporting is really trying to make a splash and like Steve said, be a franchise that is notable in Kansas City. And they'll get back there. I think they're the least of our worries. We'd have to worry about the Royals more than anything here being good again. So
I agree. But you got to remember, Q and Jazz, I know you follow the team as well. Remember when they got Dom Dwyer? He was the cool player, like doing the after he scores a goal, running in and grabbing a cell phone from the audience and doing like cool things. Had the cool haircut with the designs in it, like
definitely
the tattoos. Like that was the player that Sporting went after, like the guy that fans could come to a game and be excited about. So yeah, it shows them that forward thinkers. It shows them that they want to be winners.
Definitely. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss some more things of college football bowl games and going on. And we know who's in the national championship game. I know Broderick's excited about this one. Keep it locked in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City!
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Max Adrenaline Mobile Video Gaming is here to offer the best mobile entertainment that includes video games, laser tag, and karaoke. Our mobile video game theater offers a 33-foot climate-controlled luxury RV with 5 gaming stations, and we can accommodate up to 20 players at once. Are you looking for entertainment at your next event? Well, look no further. We'll come to you. Specializing in birthday parties for all ages, sports events, team building, corporate events, school functions, holiday parties, and more. We're here when you need us at 816-897-0509 or maxadrenalinekc.com.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us. And we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Our college football bowl games have been going on, and we know who's in the national championship game. But let's start local first. The University of Kansas came back from a 25 down and then ended up falling to Arkansas in the third overtime. I know Steve liked that one. Steve, your thoughts?
I can't say it was a great game. It was probably, and I said, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I said it was one of the best games that I had ever seen. Like the way that Kansas was able to, swing the momentum like that in a big time game. I think that was it was dope to see. And it's also good to show what they have in the future. If what's the quarterback's name? Jalen.
Jalen, is he coming back?
Yeah. I believe so. I mean, he hasn't said anything to indicate otherwise. So you got a good coach. Seems like his players want to play for him. They're good. And one thing about it, and we all seen it, every team once they start winning, it's contagious. And you're able if you're able to recruit the right guys, I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a next step for KU football. I mean, they've in between the two states of Missouri and Kansas, they've kind of been the laughing stock of football. So it's good to see them really take that step forward and having a chance to build a program. So.
Definitely another one building another local team, Kansas State. Bryce Young threw for 5 touchdowns as Alabama topped K-State in the Sugar Bowl. I know Broderick's probably a little bit disappointed Kansas State alumni.
The thing about it is he tries to act like that's not his team, like he didn't go to this school. I don't know anybody that went to a college and doesn't rep their university, especially if they're in a bowl game. But nevertheless, they did lose.
Well, I mean, people that went to UMKC.
and they claim UMKC. When UMKC is good, they claim them. When they're bad, they don't.
They can't claim them in football, Steve.
True. I agree.
True. Now, Georgia and TCU advanced to the 2023 college football playoff national championship game. What are you guys' thoughts? Or are you excited about this one?
TCU was a shocker. I don't know why, but they were a shocker. Who did they beat last week? Ohio State. Yeah. That was a shocker. And I mean, TCU has been, we've seen them be good in basketball lately. We've seen them be good in football lately. But I just wasn't expecting them to win that game, and they won it. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And, I felt like it was going to be Michigan. That was in the bowl. I wanted to see Michigan to get to the national championship game. However, since it is TCU and Georgia, I'll give my prediction. Yeah, I think TCU is going to take it. I really do.
Think so?
It's no
Yeah.
hot take or anything. It's just no bold prediction there. But I just think TCU they have the momentum going into the game, playing with nothing to lose. I know Georgia is they're back to back, being in a title game. But I just feel like it's TCU that is going to take it. And then I saw something earlier today that said it talked about ticket sales, and talked about like they showed the number breakdown of, I think it was like, I don't know, whatever ticket site it was, not Ticketmaster, but one of the other sites that showed like the percentage breakdown of what cities bought the tickets to the national title game. And it was like over 50, 55, up close to 60% of the tickets sold were coming out of the state of Texas.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of purple and silver in LA for the title game.
Oh, and the game's at SoFi? Oh, wow.
It is at SoFi. It is at SoFi. Yeah.
Big stage. Now we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hate It or Love It segment, kick it off with their sneakers of the week. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Are you ready to take your gaming experience to the next level? Max Adrenaline Mobile Video Gaming is here to offer the best mobile entertainment that includes video games, laser tag, and karaoke. Our mobile video game theater offers a 33-foot climate-controlled luxury RV with 5 gaming stations, and we can accommodate up to 20 players at once. Are you looking for entertainment at your next event? Well, look no further. We'll come to you. Specializing in birthday parties for all ages, sports events, team building, corporate events, school functions, holiday parties, and more. We're here when you need us at 816-897-0509 or maxadrenalinekc.com.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag #TalkAboutIt. Message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off our sneakers of the week this week, we got the Air Jordan 9 Light Olives.
These are okay. I haven't always been a fan of the 9s, like depending on the colorway, but these are a good wintertime shoe.
I could see it. Yeah, maybe winter vibes. Other than that, I don't know if I'd rock it.
No.
I like them. I like them too. They came out, I think the originals came out in 2002, 2003, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But and I remember because I had them going into college, and what we did was we took the olive wasn't cool then, It just looked like a brown color. So we took a black marker, and when you like color in, just so you know, when you color in with
Wow.
the on suede, you color it in with a black marker, it kind of soaks in and it looks cool. So we colored it in and made like the all black Jordans before they came, the all black nines before they came out. So
Who was the first one to let the ink hit their shoes?
it was me.
It
was definitely
cool.
Should have known.
It was
Shoulda
definitely me.
known.
I don't know if you remember, Q. I used to paint like my shoes back before it was cool to paint your shoes. Back when in high school, I used to
Yeah,
have
when
like
y'all used to do the whiteout, and yeah, I remember that.
yeah. I used to go so this telling my age, but when we used to go, we were in Hypermart, was over Bannister. I went to Hypermart and
Yeah.
had my mom get me some paint. I'm sure it wasn't the right paint because it always used to peel off when I wear my sneakers. But I got a creative little something and up in here.
Get
Oh,
outta
don't let
here.
Steve hit a puddle.
Right.
Done for the
Right.
My personal favorites this week: Air Jordan 4 GS, Messy Rooms.
I like these.
Uh,
Even that they're only kid sizes.
no, they come in. I believe they come in women's as well. But these
Okay.
give me Smurf vibes. Like I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
really.
I kind of dig these for some reason.
Yeah, I'm rocking the color. I'm liking the colorway. I think it would be a good pop of color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you got a Smurf tee from Walmart.
Here you go. Here you go. At least it's not paint.
True. Very true.
Look at Steve's hate for the Bills leaking over in the shoes. That is so terrible. Control yourself, young man.
The Nike LeBron 7 FAMUs.
These are dope. They look black on the screen, but that's like a hunter green.
Oh,
with like
really?
some design.
Okay.
Yeah, with like some design in the sneaker. But it's there. These are really dope. I like these.
Yeah, I see the hunter green, and that they should have had a lot more contrast in that. But I mean, I'm just not a fan of LeBron's.
I'd have to agree with Q on this one.
Okay.
It's not giving what it's supposed to give, I don't think.
Uh,
Last but not least, the Nike Dunk Low Mars Stone.
These are cool.
I kind of like these.
I like 'em.
I don't know. What would you wear with these, Jazz? Like a light neutral?
Yep, neutral vibes, and then have that like the blue. Is that like a blue purplish color on the side?
Have your Crip Boo flag hanging out your back pocket?
That's the pop. That's the pop. Right there. I think they're a good fall winter shoe. I could see him.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I'm a fan. Now, the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists are announced. Torrey Holt, Darrell Revis, highlight modern era list. Hate it or love it.
I'm all right with this list. A couple of former Chiefs. You got Jared Allen and Albert Lewis, two guys that I grew up watching. Albert Lewis, of course, played safety for the Chiefs. Used to be a hard hitting safety as well. And then you had a guy in Jared Allen who played defensive end. I feel like he was one of those guys that was, of course, after Derek Thomas era.
Yeah.
They kind of started the whole defensive end because if you guys remember, there was Jared Allen, then he kind of mentored Tamba, and then Tamba then mentored Justin Houston, and then it just kind of went from there. So yeah, Jared Allen was one of those guys that I really liked when he played for the team.
And Broderick wanted to make sure that you knew that he did not get his Hall of Fame status while he's with the Chiefs.
Oh my goodness. Well, he got his Hall of Fame status from what? From
Vikings?
From Vikings?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would agree.
He got the big deal from the Vikings because of the Chiefs, because of what he did while he played with the team.
But he still got his Hall of Fame status there. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Is this Broderick saying this or is this Q?
No, this is Broderick saying this.
Oh my goodness! I can smell the hate 1,000 miles away.
We think about Jared Allen. We think of the big purple 69.
Oh my goodness!
He's co-signing on this one too.
I agree.
He had the whole restaurant in Kent. Like
that restaurant was open 2.5 weeks. Steve, stop it. He abandoned that restaurant. Stop.
Okay. All right. I would say we need to pull up the stats because Jared Allen definitely got his contract from what he did while he was with
I
the
mean,
Chiefs.
yes. Tyreek Hill got his contract from the Dolphins too, and he'll go down as a Hall of Fame Dolphin.
Oh man.
Mm.
No, Chicago White Sox tease new uniform collab featuring the Chicago Bulls. Check out the photo the White Sox shared on their Twitter. Hate it or love it.
Love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Steve?
These are dope. Like it took a little while to grow on me. But now I look at the pinstripes and these are fire. I really like these.
I think so. I think they're supposed to be wearing it for the Jordan year, so that's kind of cool that they. Yeah, my only criticism is the hat.
You don't like the hat?
The hat. I mean yeah, Bulls hat, but I think they should do pinstripes or maybe do a red hat. It's something they need to do different.
I'm a fan. Steve, if you could make any shoe into a cleat to rock with these, what would you make it?
10s.
It had to be. It had to be the. It had to be the Jordan 4s. I would say the Jordan 4s. The bread Jordan 4s or the bread 11s with the patent leather.
That's what I meant. 11s. I meant 11s. Yeah.
Yeah. The bread 11s with those. Woo. Yes.
Crazy. The Washington Commanders unveil new mascot, Major Tutty. Hate it or love it.
Major Teddy. Did they get a lot of Tutties this year? Because I think he's.
Well, Washington was on the verge. As bad as they looked, they were on the verge of making the playoffs. They really were.
Yeah, but I mean, that their quarterback isn't going to be starting too much longer because Taylor Heineke is going to come up and that's another thing too, because a lot of the players started talking about the team plays better and the morale is a lot higher when Heineke's starting. So it's going to be a little controversy there coming next year.
Well, they didn't get very many tutties when they revealed the mascot in their loss, so I don't have that much faith in it so far. Steve,
I mean, it's kind of weird, like seeing a pig as a mascot. Like that's just not it for me. I think they need to go back to the drawing board. A pig of all, like no. I'm not with that.
You're getting cooked bacon.
Whoever is their marketing or deciding on these names and everything.
Oh, his name is Dan Snyder.
As they're totally missing it. Savannah James shared a hilarious video of LeBron James playing Madden to celebrate New Year's Eve. Let's see the video first.
Here comes Rager.
This how you making me bring in the new year? This how you making me bring in the new year?
Hey, man. I mean, listen, I've been in Atlanta all weekend. I got my birthday celebration. I went to a basketball game. We celebrated my birthday with you. Mom's good. Ohio State crushing loss. So I got to get it done to start the year off with.
Dude said I had to get a dub to start the year off with. That's funny. That is funny.
Man, I have to say, from Savannah's perspective, I think I would be a little upset if that's how I was being forced to ring in the New Year's.
But to LeBron's defense, they showed this huge party that they had for his birthday. I don't know what city it was. I guess in Atlanta, where mega stars were there. And so if he just had hung out, like, now it's time to chill. We can relax for the new year, But yeah,
rightfully so.
No, definitely.
Now, speaking of LeBron, he had spoke on what he needs to do before he retires. I need to be on the floor with my boy. I got to be on the floor with Bronny. That would be the icing on the cake. Hate it or love it.
He's making the case. He's definitely making the case. I don't know how many years this is out. How many years you think this is away, Steve?
Well, he's a senior this year, so I know that they're changing or they were in talks of changing the rule where kids can now come out of high school again in 23. So I'm not sure where they are with that in the rule, but I feel like if there was any way that he's able to just hang around for a couple more years, he go to college a year and then come out from there as a freshman or at least because I think now you can go to the D League at least coming out of high school. So or the G League, sorry, the D League, the G League out of high school. It may be a couple years away. I'm surprised that scoring being a top scorer ever in the NBA isn't like high on his list, like number one. But I guess have being able to play in the NBA with your son on the same team that would probably top my list too.
How many points is he away from Kareem's record?
I don't know if somebody could pull that up. I know when I watched yesterday that it was that they were saying something about him being able to do it on the ABC game, like 4 games away. So I'm not sure if anybody has those numbers on NBA scoring list.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look
Because
that up.
I think. Oh, well, okay. LeBron has points. He has 37,903, and Kareem has 38,387.
Oh, so he's less than
So
1,000
he's like
points
400.
away.
Yeah, he's about a little under 500 points away.
Creeping.
That's next season.
Definitely. Former NFL
I
running
think
back.
if he goes into, and I know this is regular season, but if he goes into the playoffs, if he's able to make it into the playoffs, it's still a long time. I mean, you still got the All-Star break, so you still have at least 40 some games. You still have about 40 some games that you're able to do. So, I mean, right now he's averaging a little over 30 a game. So, I mean, if he continues on with that, he'll get there.
Yeah,
I think he's
that's
averaging
coming
like
really
38 a
soon.
game right now. Yeah.
Oof. I'm ready for it.
Now, former NFL running back Peyton Hillis is reportedly in critical condition after saving his kids from drowning. His kids are okay, thankfully. Hate it or love it.
I mean, I love that he was able to save the kids. We just hope he gets a speedy recovery as well. Did he almost drown, or I wonder what the story is. Okay.
Yep. So, Steve, your thoughts?
This one hits home for me a lot because just watching this and looking at the story, how it's developing, I don't know where they were, he and his family, but they were in water, and his kids were, getting ready to drown, and he saved them, and gave up himself to save them. So I believe they're saying that he's unconscious right now as well. So it's a wild story, a heroic story, just to show what we talk about, or at least I talk about fatherhood, and I would do the same, to save my the kids from drowning. Definitely Peyton and I would definitely do that. So
definitely,
absolutely. Chad Ochocinco responds to Twitter after they tried to clown him for wearing the same Amiri shirt for 3 days straight. Hate it or love it.
I love it, man, because he's a professional troll. And like, can you imagine like being financially set and just trolling people every day of your life in retirement? It's great.
I remember I saw one he's weird like that too, because he was driving a minivan for a while. Then he got like this souped up smart car.
Yeah.
He had a smart car that was like souped up. And then he talks about like going to Target, instead of buying a Rolex, he'll buy like Target clothes, and he has like a Timex that he wears. And he also, like, one of the he was on someone's podcast, and they said his net worth. It's like, is this really your net worth? And he was like, what? Don't ever believe what you read. And they were like, what do you mean? Like, and he talked about how his net worth really wasn't that. And they were like, come on, that got to be your net worth because it's what's, reported. And he pulled up his phone and he showed him like, hey, this is my net worth. And they was like, dang, all that in your checking account? Like, why don't you have it in the savings? He's like, that's just me. He's like, it's going to be in my checking account. So, yeah, that's just Chad Ochocinco, real cool dude, friend of the show, I might add.
We run into him a couple times.
Definitely. And I just thought it was funny in his remarks back on Twitter. He basically was saying, I paid a pretty penny for this shirt so I can wear it as much as I want.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Like, if I'm buying an Amiri tee, I'm rocking it.
He's definitely got that Febreze popping, but I love it.
What's an Amiri tee go for these days?
Who knows? Because Amiri is probably around like $100, $200 a shirt, and then knowing him, he was probably wearing an extravagant like $300 shirt.
Okay, just for a t-shirt, yeah.
Yeah,
just for a graphic tee that you can get at Walmart.
Not the Smurf. That's no Smurf tee though, Steve. That's next level. That's next level.
Yeah, you're looking at $350 for just a black Amiri shirt in white letters.
Okay.
Basic.
All right.
Put some respect on his name. I got to.
All right. Can you buy Amiri in Kansas City?
Yeah, I think you can get it from Halls, but why would you want
I need to holler at my folks at Dillard's. Zone and Rosa. Maybe you can get an Amiri shirt from them.
No,
go
you
out there
don't.
and check them out.
No, you don't, Steve. No, you don't.
I mean, just go out there and ask for Heather at the Dillard's, the men's department. She might be able to help you.
Yeah, but you're not getting an Amiri shirt, Steve.
Coach Dan Case tweeted out a photo of Tom Brady's wristband from the undefeated season in New England. Let's see the tweet. Hate it or love it.
I love it. I love it to be able to see like the jargon of plays. Me and Steve were sitting here in a meeting earlier this week trying to figure out, if it's pass or run, what's protection. So it was cool to like, try to decipher that because in football, there's certain universal language, especially when you get to a certain level. But to be able to decode all of that and know 300 to 500 different plays, but that's what you get paid to do. Could you remember that many plays, Jazz?
No shot. Like looking at that for me, that's a foreign language. Like, and then some of them trying to say it 3 times fast. Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine.
Let's hear your play. Let's hear your play call skills, Jazz. Go for it. Read one.
I need another glimpse at the. I need a glimpse at the wristband. Let's see. Well, on a good day, outslot Cougar Wolf. Say that.
Come on. Oh, no. You got to do better than that. Let's hear you walk up to the huddle and call out the play.
Right. Here
Let's do it.
All right. Come on, guys. All right, here we go. Gather around. I'm in my best Tom Brady voice.
Okay.
All right, guys. Come on. All right. We're zero sprig, flank, yig, Beetle away, Ritz. I sound super nervous. All right, guys, here we go. All right, it's 3rd and 8. All right, we're 0 near, flank Parker, A Sarah.
All right, I got one for you. Let me go. All right, guys, cuddle up. Here we go. All right, here we go. 09 nasty, R134 crunch stalk. All right, come on, guys, here we go. Cuddle up. Here we go. 09 SLR 134 Y Speedo delays SNK. No way.
Use the hate it button. Where's our producer?
Tomato.
That's terrible. Yeah, I couldn't imagine trying to piece those together. And then, like you said, there's 40 different options that it could be tied to if you change 1 or 2 words. Oh, yeah. You might as well forget it for me.
And for the most part, you're listening to the prompt for your position.
True.
So if you're a lineman, you're listening for the protection. Also, if you're a running back, but then if you're a running back, you're either listening for your route or if you're getting the ball motion. So there's a few things that when the play is called, this is your assignment. It just sounds like a lot jumbled all together.
Right.
All right, we appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Keep the comments coming. Remember to like us and subscribe on our YouTube, like us on Facebook. For those that were listening on 100.1 FM, you can always catch us on our social media platforms when we're broadcasting live. each and every Saturday. You can catch a rewind of our show on Mondays, 100.1 FM, 1 Kansas City Radio. Until next week, we are out of here.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed to the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, 1 Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.